Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to our Europa Universalis 4 game as Hindustan. We're doing a walkthrough. I'm explaining all the mechanics, why I'm doing the things I'm doing, unless we've seen it tons of times, because we're pretty far into the game. We're 2/3 of the way through. And we've got a very successful empire thus far. We just upgraded our trade fleets. I'm curious to see what impact that made on our finances, and we have now surpassed Ottomans, so that we are now the #1 rated power for military, #1 rated power for administration. We are ranked fairly low for diplomacy as we are lagging behind on diplomatic tech. Our fleet is outdated. Not our trade fleet, but our war fleet. And we could upgrade that right now. But if we can get up to diplomatic technology 22, we will get better ships. Better warships. Well, we've got the cash. Let's just do it. I wanted to check on our trade situation. So we haven't been able to overtake Genoa as the richest node in the world again, even after upgrading our fleets. That tells me that we need more trade power buildings. Let's build one here. I was looking for the numbers that are a little bit larger than the others. That reminds me where the centers of trade are. I mean, high development can throw it off here, like these 3s, for instance. Guess we need one more building there, so we need 3 of them. 4, 5, 6. At least 6 more of these buildings. Probably 7 for there. And 8, 9, 10. At least 10 more of these buildings, so we should be saving up about 3,000 ducats. Or I think 2,000. Is that counting the cost? Yeah, 2,000 more ducats. Because they cost 300, but the cost of the first level is deducted. Yeah, there are 2,000 ducats saved up. Oh, France. We insult you? I think we insulted you. We did. Good. You clearly didn't take that lesson to heart. We will insult you a second time if you keep this up. Our power projection has suffered, but we really don't need it to be super high. Okay, the Ottomans are trying to take over Sunda down here, because they've colonized down into the Spice Islands of Indonesia. I'm not super excited about that, because the more trade power they have here, the easier it is for them to push trade up towards them. Okay, do we want piety and prestige or lose piety and prestige? We definitely want piety and prestige. It's no kind of question. Okay, we'll get higher trade efficiency, so we'll make more money off of our trade. And we'll get another promoted culture. So that's fun, I like it. Looks like Tabaristan is done with that war. They didn't lose a whole lot of territory. Russia seemed to be concerned with having respectable borders. I really should kill the Ottomans over these borders. Like, really? Articon and Shiraz together? Like, are we playing rock, paper, scissors? What are these points? It's like sticking 2 fingers out. There's your thumb, there's your index finger, there's the rest of your fingers. Making a gun with your finger or something? I mean, what are you doing? That should be grounds for war. I should get casus belli on them. kill them over their ugly borders. But Russia is doing a little bit better. Nope, no cost to spell yet. That's because we meant to fabricate a claim. What do we want from them? We'll pick Mashad as our first target. And we will have to wait a month, see it doesn't automatically register that we fabricated a claim, or maybe at least a few days. Yeah, just a few days. So, declared war, and we're going to capture this fort again. Then these guys are going to march in and take Bukhara. We won't need to take all of their stuff. We'll just go for the forts, and I think they will get the message. We'll obviously take Mashhad as well, as it is the war goal. And we are well ahead of time on tax, so let's reduce the cost of our army and navy through war taxes, and that'll save us up some cash. Really should have put a general in charge here. So let's send back the cavalry to Samarkand to capture that. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is while we're on a siege, while we're on enemy territory, we can't appoint a new leader. Can't just like click on this guy and put a general in charge. But if we go to a place right next to it that has no fort, we capture it after a month, and we can pick one of these guys. We can't reassign this guy from the siege for the same reason. We can take this guy from wherever he is, put him in charge of the cavalry, meet him up in the army, and merge them together. And now we have a general with a little bit of siege strength here. Love that their army's just hiding back. We could hit that province if we moved in like this, but we don't have a spare army. Okay, people are requesting representative national institutions. We can declare that the state is me, or I am the state, as Louis XIV did, and loses stability, or we can just lose some assorted monarch points. That seems like a better deal. The higher our stability gets, the more expensive it gets to buy it up. And we can see that here. It's represented in those red numbers. Stability cost modifier. Each point you get is over 1. The cost goes up by 50%. So if it drops down to +2, and we try to get it up to +3, it'll be double the cost as of if we were trying to increase it from 0, +1, or any of these other numbers, from -3 to -2, from -2 to -1, -1 to 0, any of that. It doesn't become cheaper the lower it gets or anything like that. Ning wants military access to our country. How about no? Did our declaration of war on you somehow get misinterpreted as like a friendly like teasing or something? Because I thought it was pretty clear that we kind of dislike you. They're building up a spy network against us. Okay, Bukhara has fallen, so let's try to catch the army here. They'll probably run. And they're fast. This guy's a 5-4-4-1, so that is a really good general. But they're not going to get away, I don't think. If they would have started a few days before we did, but that pause dimmed them. Wow, they didn't even send in the second army to reinforce. They just ran. You don't blame them. Ease that dimmy tax burden. So we'll wait till the loyalty drops again. 75, and we'll renew the lesson tax program that we've been doing since, well, now for over a century. Hey, remember, each claim that we do is more expensive than the last one, so we did one for 20 and one for 25. The next one will cost us 30. Just waiting for this truce to expire next year. Oh, sorry, 11 years. Oh, it's 11 years. We shouldn't wait on that. We should just invade. Let's see if Ming's still overextended. Yeah. We'll give them some time to core stuff, and then we'll invade Manchuria. Or Manchu. They could send both these armies in. And try to eject us. Since they're the owner of this fort, they would get the defender bonuses for the mountains. But I can only see 2 one-star generals. I think their really good general died. And it's pretty painful to replace a 3-star general with a 1-star general. I feel their pain. The Ottomans would join in and help us beat up on Tabaristan. That's funny. They used to be friends. That friendship was a pain for me, because it meant that I couldn't conquer the rest of Persia. Just gonna fabricate another one, I don't care which one. And Ayutthaya is finally going to finish off Nanjing, which I approve of because that makes their borders look a little bit better. I'm not sure if they were trying to offend us with those borders before. The current setup is much more forgivable. So we're going to try wiping out this army. They might try to send these troops to reinforce. There's not going to be an army for them to reinforce. So we'll just march up to their other fort. I think the war is going to be over. We're attacking them in the mountains here. We don't even care. Our troops are good. I mean, there's going to be a couple nations that have better troops than us. So I'm not getting, you know, arrogant over the quality of our troops, but they are good. And who could we expect to have better troops than us? France. France would have better troops than us. Because they have defensive that they're working on, and they have offensive. Their army isn't as big, but it's high quality, and we can just look at their French ideas. Alon is that third one listed in yellow. That gives them 20% morale of armies. And then their French ambitions are discipline of plus 5%. So their troops are really good. Brandenburg has defensive and offensive ideas fully completed. You can see yearly army tradition from their traditions, so they have better generals than their army professionals and plus 20% morale of armies. Then the goose step for plus 20% infantry combat ability, and right between those two is the yearly army tradition decay of minus 1%. So they keep their army tradition longer, so they'll have better generals. And then at the very end, they do have discipline plus 5%, so they'll take fewer casualties. plus everything that they get for defensive and offensive. That right there is the best quality army in the world. Sweden also has good ones. Infantry combat ability plus 20%, plus 5% discipline, and land leader shock still have better generals. And they've completed offensive, and they're starting to work on defensive. And I can see their ideas. They have innovative and offensive complete. And the reason why that matters, we're going to check out policies. What's our ideas? Now, innovative, if you have innovative, oh, they should have gone for quality. If innovative in quality, they could increase that infantry combat ability by 20% more. So they have plus 40% to how tough their infantry fight. And that would just be glorious. But they instead went for innovative and offensive, which means that their leaders will be really good at sieging down stuff. And that's good. That helps win wars. But it's not going to devastate people on the battlefield the way that Brandenburg's troops are, or they could have gone if they would have gone innovative and quality. Yeah, with innovative and quality as Sweden, you could actually get plus 50% infantry combat ability. 20 for your Swedish traditions, 20 for the policy, and 10 for the quality ideas themselves, which we've got. We've got 10 there, and 10 there, so we're at 20. And if we went through innovative ideas, we could get that up to 40. But innovative this late in the game isn't a great investment, because most of what innovative is going to be doing for us is making institutions a little bit cheaper, which there's only one institution left. Making advisors a little bit cheaper. I mean, there's good things it could still do for us, but the institutions is one of the places that shines. And that ship has sailed. It's got the new royal marriage. Who's in control of the country there? Okay, consort regent. So the emperor died, and his wife is serving as a regent for their child. Should say one of the wives. Okay, we cracked the walls. So we're going to wait till we capture this fort. I was waiting for their war enthusiasm to drop. It just hit low. Oh no, I guess it hit low a little while ago while we were talking. Okay, do we want 50 admin? No, we want the 75 total points. Admin's really valuable, but diplomatic is nice for us right now at the moment too, because we're so far behind. And we're about to see some uprisings. And we are going to make that worse by taking on a lot of overextension here. So first of all, what do we want? We want these two. As I stated before, we want Samarkand. Let's just try to get some better looking borders. We can take all of their money, and that will upset people. But again, Bukhara, they're not going to do anything about that. Tabaristan won't be able to. So I'll leave three nations, and Zhang is being invaded. So really Ning and Wu. Ning has a truce with us for quite some time, and Wu is going to be demolished. Is it Wu? Oh, it's Wu that's allied here. So we could invade here and mark Wu as a co-belligerent anytime we feel like it. We had enough spare admin points to get that up. Get all that stuff coring immediately. This fort's a little outdated, so I'm not going to keep it. Instead, we're just going to move these troops, spread them out onto newly conquered territory. And once we can add Samarkand to a state, we will, and give it to our merchant guilds. And that'll make sure that a little bit more trade power goes down to Kashmir, and then down to all the rest of our places. Okay, so we wanted to claim some stuff from Tabarstan. And declare this war on Manchu. We're going to mark Wu as a co-belligerent because we'd like to take more of their stuff, and we're going to put Shahar as the war goal because we can get there really quickly. No one else is going to join in, because this war is pretty far away from all of them. And I don't think either of them have particularly strong feelings about Manchu. Let's put a general here. Let's get this guy with a little bit of siege. This guy's got siege, so we're good. Oh, we almost got their army. Not sure why it seems to be avoiding this province. Okay, finally Kalduptum. It's in hills, so they've got a bonus. And their general looks pretty good, but I was trying Ming's general because he's apparently better than ours. Look at that, 4520. Which is strange. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Wu's general. Ming's is that 3122. It's got 2 pips of siege, so if he helps us out with these sieges, they should surrender pretty quickly. And now we're in another war with Ning. So why don't we march this army up to help out? We'll give them... This guy's a general. Oops, that was the guy leading this army. So we'll give them a different general and go over towards these forts. And we'll go for their capital first. Forts under control makes that a problem. And we lose 20% of the aggressive expansion we'd otherwise get. I like that. Can't get anything from any estates at the moment, but that's fine. I mean, you really should be backing us up with that general on one of our sieges. Okay, I'm going to leave behind here just few beat up units to keep the siege going, and I'm going to try attacking them here, reject them from this territory. Again, they've got a better general than us, but I have confidence in our troops. Kind of expect them to perform a little better than that, though. That was a close victory. I mean, they had better general and had large numbers. We lost 8,000 men, and they lost 38,000 men. That's what I like to see. Other troops are basically going to be garbage. Now we'll go for their capital and humble them. Got tons of cash, so let's start our plan of upgrading all of our trade buildings. We needed one here, there and there. We needed one here. There's something up in here that was valuable. All of them are somewhat valuable up in here. Let's go to the coast. This one, that one. And again, what I'm looking for is just comparing the numbers, like these 0.72 trade power, 1.7 trade power. Not interested in that. What we're interested in is the big numbers like 8.9, 5.7. The other way that we could go about it is we could go to a trade map and just look to see where are there things on the map that show these little estuaries and centers of trade. And when we find them, we just click on the trade depot or whatever it is to increase it. Now that we've done that, I want us to get a larger navy, so I'm going to start investing in some buildings to produce larger ship limits. And those are pretty expensive, so I'm going to start raising some war taxes if those have expired. Yeah, they have. We didn't raise them in this war. And they're just sieging out Ming, which doesn't hurt me at all. It does increase the chances that Ming will have some rebels in it, and I'll have to put them down, but it's not going to save them. I guess it does get him a little bit of war score, but not much. That's more annoying to me. Okay, so we took their capital up here, Girin. And if they had anything else of value, any of the forts, I would siege those down, but I don't see any. So we're going to divert this army south and start sieging out Beijing. And Russia's beating up on Bukhara, I can see. I expect the Ottomans to be rational like a player would and just attack Tabaristan, but maybe there's still a lot of trust there and good relations. Generally, I'm opposed to dealing with their rebels, but it was going to move on to Hangzhou, which we captured. I didn't want to have to lose that fort and re-siege it, so I reluctantly fought their army. We could become Defender of the Faith. I think we're going to save up some more cash and then build some more buildings, some more like docks, get us more ships. And we want to make sure that the stuff that we're conquering is going to Ming. This stuff we'll take for ourselves. And maybe we could give this to Ming. Because it'll look better for their borders. Gotta have good-looking borders. We're not barbarians, after all. And let's see how long this video has been going on. 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop here.